Okay, good evening, everybody. Now we are going to discuss about we're going to discuss an interesting topic about mass organization. But before we start, I would like to convey some rules that we need to obey later in our discussion. First, you need to mute your microphone while another speaker is speaking. Secondly, you are not able to give your statement if the moderator doesn't allow you to speak up. So please respect our moderator tonight, who is Mr. Tama. He's going to be our moderator and discussing about this issue. Thirdly, please focus on the topic of discussion. Okay, so because our topic for tonight is related to Ormas or mass organization, so please relate your ideas that you want to explain later with our topic. And furthermore, the hosts are capable of cutting your statement if the moderator thinks that that's enough. So yeah, again, please respect our moderator. Then please encourage to be active in our discussion, since our discussion for tonight is not only about improving your knowledge, insights toward this issue, but also to improve your English skills. So yeah, just be brave to speak up later in our discussion. And finally, I want to ask you guys to raise your hand on the notification of participants, because later when you want to speak up, please just utilize some tools here on the Zoom by clicking the raise hand option. So guys, please raise your hand. You are able to click on the participant part below, and there's an option called raise hand. Okay, please. Okay, thank you, Mr. Sunshine. Hi, who are you? Mr. Indranov. Okay, please, guys, raise your hand. Okay, thank you, Miss Livia and other, please. Okay, Miss Anissa, thank you. Mr. Rian. Okay, Miss Ria, thank you. And yeah, please, everyone, raise your hand. Miss Masha, please raise your hand. Okay, Mr. Nabil. Okay, now you can lower your hand again, guys. Okay, so that's the way. If you want to speak up later, please raise your hand and the moderator will be able to see you if you want to speak up. All right, thank you so much. Without further ado, I would like to give this chance to Mr. Tama as our moderator tonight. Mr. Tama, time is yours.
Okay, guys, so thank you very much for giving me this kind of opportunity. I think it's really great for me because it's been a while since I become keynote speaker for this kind of discussion. And then what is that? I really appreciate it for all of people here who give me this chance. And regarding to this topic, before we start to discuss about it, I think I need to deliver my intention first. Why do I choose this kind of topic? Well, basically, because I was a former of member certain Ormas in our country, so that's why this the things that I'm really into, and also the things that perhaps I can say that I'm quite expert. Well, I can't say that I'm expert, but I know well about it, so that's why I chose this topic. Well, so like as you see in our screen here, our topic tonight is, do we need Ormas in our society? Which is quite general because when we talk about Ormas, there is a lot of there are some type of Ormas in our country, right? So I mean, it can be really specific or it can be really general. It's based on our discussion later, because the title is, do we need Ormas? It's kind of specific, but the word Ormas itself is general. So basically, it's kind of deteriorated meaning here. But that's okay, no problem, because we try to learn here and try to get some idea from our discussion. Okay, by the way, so let's start our discussion tonight, and we will start from the first question here. Let's see why. Okay, so it's a it's a really general question for all of you. Yeah, which is which become our beginning, the beginning of our discussion today. What is Ormas? I believe everyone here has their own opinion about Ormas. So I want to know your opinion or what's on your mind when you see that question. What is Ormas in your opinion? So I would like to give a chance for everyone here who want to be the first respondent for this question. Come on, please raise your hand if you want to give us your opinion about the definition of Ormas or what is Ormas in your opinion. Okay, Mr. Indrawanov, time is yours. Come on.
Well, thank you. So based on my assumptions, Ormas is like the organizations that has been created by the society um, with with the purpose of or the same aspirations, needs, and also yeah, some things that relate to themselves. It's like they have the same purpose how to make this country to become the socialist country, for example. So they're trying to make a kind of the movement that related with that, with the organization. So this is my assumptions that related with Ormas. Thank you.
Okay, so basically it's like a group of people that created by aspiration because they have same aspirations. That's why their intention to expand for their concern is really high. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Indorano. Okay, the other, please. Let's see. We have Mr. Chan Chan here. Come on, time is yours.
I guess Mr. Unggul first before I
Oh,
raise
sorry.
my hand. He raised my hand first.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I see, I see. Come on, Mr. Extremist. Please, time is yours.
Okay, I'd rather explain it with a philosophical understanding. In the book that has been written by who's the author of Why Nation Fail? I forgot. Uh, Yeah, that author, that man. He has written about this thing. The purpose of this organization is for collecting the people, gathering their power, for example, to create a mass mobilization to win the what is that de facto political power. It means in reality the majority should win with their power, with their enforcement. For example, for representing their what is that uh, uh, their purpose, right? After that, in the next step, when, for example, the prerequisites of that organization is suitable, for example, be a party or something like that, for example, I mean, constitutionally, they can represent what is it, their interests to the legal way, for example, in legislative assembly and so on and so forth, with what is that, the enforcement, with what is that, uh, uh,
What? Well,
I'm sorry, my
hello?
signal.
Okay.
With the purpose for representing the people, I mean, the consequences behind that organization. So that is what is that? Like a dynamics where we live in. Means the first thing is we should build up this organization to collect the de facto political power and then represent it through the de jure, I mean legislative, I mean legal way, political power to what is that? To win uh, the contestation between the majority and the elites. Because since the Babylonian era, the oligarchies had alive at the time until now, and they have different interests with us. I mean, with majority of people. For example, in the tax redistribution, they need less. We need more to them, right? For creating equality, but they need to be unequal because it is the way to maintain their power and so forth. So it is pivotal thing. I mean, this organization uh, to be sustained, to what is that? To to enforce us to conduct with. because it is the only way for us representing our interests. So that is my opinion, basically. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Extremist. Yeah, that's really great explanation with a complicated order actually, but I think I also get the gist of it. Thank you very much. So now I'll give the chance for Mr. Sunshine. Come on, Mr. Sunshine, time is yours.
Okay, well, I'd like to give a little bit comment toward what has been delivered by Mr. Ongul. Mr. Ongul, oh my goodness. Well, I believe it is not only a matter of representing the interest, but it's more than that. We fight for, we advocate, we defend the rights of those who always being in vulnerable side, so they will get more oppression depressed because they basically are the minority, and that's why we need social movements that can become the symbol of, or a symbol or the identity that can show the two purposes that we want the governments to embrace us, to know us, recognize us, and keep keep our existence in the tap. I think this is more important for us to recognize, since the social movements will do anything in their own way, whether it is radical, soft, or like intervention, because the existence of social movement itself, regardless the purposes and their last goal, I believe that they also want to control towards every policies movement that have been established or going to be projected by the government, because they at least have also been taking part in selecting those legislative people that have been representing the willingness of all people, and that's why they also need to control, and how they can control if they do not have a platform, if they do not have organization. And that's why it's like the very existence of society. Every citizen is like to if we look at the history, I mean, like the very beginning of the creations of a country started from the population, small populations coming from uh, a bunch of people that trying to uh, assemble one another and having one purpose, and made an agreement, made a pact on that, made rules, regulations, sanction, punishments to make everyone comply with rules. And that's why the social movements will also would like to do something like that. They not only represent, but also defend, fight, advocate for the rights that have been neglected, and also intercept, or how to say, intervene with the unjust decisions or verdicts that have been taken or imposed by the government towards society. I think that's what I can give this time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for your response to this question. Okay, so let's see here, Mr. Chikoneng Healer. So come on, I'm yours.
Yeah, I guess Ormas is a little nation among the nation because before we creating a nation, if Mr. Unggul said about the books that what's that, why nation fell, but I will stipulate there is the theory of nation come from the philosophy Thomas Hobbes, that social contract. So before we creating a nation, we establish the common sense of civil organization that provide idea and also the purpose of the society indeed. So after that, we create the power organization like a nation. So Ormas, in my perspective, can be called as the core of nation that should be there. For example, like Indonesia, when we are in the colonization era, Ormas is the first thing that we establish, like NU, or for the Islamic perhaps, like Muhammadiyah is the Ormas, and we continue and we create a nation after that. Thank you.
Okay, Okay, thank you very much. Core of nation. That's really great phrase actually. Core of nation. From a small entity to be a great to be worth it, to be a big entity. That's really great. Thank you very much, Mr. Chicken Angelium. And it will be the last person here to respond this question, Mr. Daniel Alexander. Time is yours.
Okay, is that my voice clear?
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you for your hospitality, Mr. What's your name? Okay, if you talk about the organization, society organization in this era, Reformation era, we talk about. I want to talk that there is some book by Hannah Arendt in uh, the title. The book was named. The book's name is "The End of Democracy." The End of Democracy. So, if we talk about society organization, it means that the system, like Mr. Unggul said that we on this oligarchic era, the oligarchic was control all the system of our nation, our state. That means that it will make some gross violation of human right because there are so many social conflict involved the society organization. Based on history, we talk about the civil or society organization. It it the the function of this society organization, besides it means make some representative people from some identity or entity. But the crucial point, the society organization always use for some political, for some power agent, power schedule, or they always used by some election. So this is the function, or the what I say, uh, as a tool, as a political tool, some to make to mobility the electoral vote. But if we now this era, according to the Act number 2 in the 2017, that there's Act was ruled by Ormas or society organization. So many uh, organization by subjectivity of the government, subjectivity by the power. If the society organization never make some what I said, coalition, or they if the society organization never or mm, want to supporting the government, they always get the stigma, they get the paradigm that's what radicalism, coalition, radicalism, and so many more. So my point is, according to Henry B. Maju in the End of Democracy and Hannah Arendt, we have we on this totalitarianism era. So the most crucial point of this totalitarianism era, totalism era, this era will make our society organization will mobilize from this step to next step for something political tools of the oligarchy. So that's my point. I'm sorry, I so very seldom to speak English, and thanks for your hospitality. Hope done.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Daniel, right? Mr. Daniel. Okay, so basically, that's the face of Ormas that we came across nowadays, right? Even if we try to come back to the law or the constitution that's being created, yeah, everything that we see right now is not really suitable with the thing that they have undang-undang tahun berapa itu? 2017. I forget what is the what's that basic law of it. It's not really suitable, but that's the face of Ormas nowadays. Okay, what is that? It will be so specific if we just directly start to that point. We will try to follow the flow here. Okay, so I think that's the last the last respondent for this question. And before we move to the next point here, I think I need to tell you that this motion can be either sensitive or funny actually, because I choose to deliver it with a funny way. I don't want to be serious with it. Yeah, because if we try to look our existence here, I mean the existence of our discussion here, some people, not some people, basically we are classified as the normal also. Yeah, and there's some point that we can't break. Yeah, based on the basic law that we have in Undang-Undang Ormas. So that's why I think I just want to be funny and I don't want to be firm and serious with it. Yeah, but still it will be really what is that, it will be really great discussion because there will be a lot of knowledge that we'll get. Okay, so let's move here. I think all of you have your own idea about the definition of Ormas or everything that appears on your mind when you see that question. So here we are. In second. Okay, so I just want to deliver the definition of ormas based on our undang-undang here, yeah, which is very specific because this definition based on the things that we have in our country. So basically, ormas are organizations that are voluntarily founded and formed by the community based on the same aspiration, desire, need, interest, activities, and objective to participate in development for the achievement of the objective of the unitary state of Republic of Indonesia based on Pancasila. Okay, so I think it's quite general for all of you because we know that from our law, Ormas itself should be suitable with our Pancasila. Even though you have even though you have great aspiration towards something or something that you concern about, but still it should be uh, come back to our principle here, Pancasila. Okay, so let's move to the next point here. Okay, so when we talk about something here, when we talk about Ormas here, there will be a history for it. And I just want to deliver a nutshell of the history of Ormas itself. Well, basically, this is the thing that I got from Wikipedia. Yeah, to be frank, this is the thing that I got from Wikipedia because the limitation of my resources. And right now, we need to know that the trigger of the word civil society, which is another word that we can use to say ormas, civil society, is delivered and triggered by a sim. Actually, I can say that he is a sim. Sim, yeah. The name is Cicero. Yeah, he tried to gain ground, and after that he tried to hit on someone, and use that term in order to make himself popular. I think perhaps. And after that, after the term of civil society became widely used and well known, yeah, there are also an expert that try. There are also an expert that try to use civil society as a definition of a state. So basically in 18th century, the definition of state and civil society are considered same. And after that, there is some trigger also that make state and civil society become separated, and it because of enlightenment of European back then, and it result as what is that? It result as a great distinguish between state and civil society. So after second phase of 18th century, people know that state and civil society are different things. Yeah, especially when some extremists, who we are, some extremists such as Aji and Kibo appears, and they try to say that, oh my God, we don't need civil society. They have same power as a state. We need to obliterate them. That's the problem that happened back then. And after that, also another hero appears. Yeah, we can say that his name is Hegel, and with his thesis, he appeared to deliver some solution that can curb and also become win-win solution for state and people that need civil society, that need the existence of civil society. So Hegel came up with the idea of curbing and also control the power of civil society under the state. Yeah, that is a short history of civil society that exists in our country. It exists in general actually. Well, basically, I also give some space here toward the history of mass organization in our country, 62 nation. Yeah, which is I believe that everyone here has their own opinion about the existence of and the history of civil society in our country. So I think if you want to deliberate or if you have knowledge toward the history of mass organization in our country, please, time is yours. I will give you a chance. Anyone, please? Even though it's not really suitable with the logical order, it's not a problem as long as you have knowledge and it's related to the history of mass organization in our country. Please share it with us. Come on. Is there anyone, please? Mr. Aji, should I choose someone here? Mr. Sunshine, Mr. Aji, or Mr. Wanoff? The history of mass organization in our country, please. There is no.
What's the question?
The question is not a question. I think I give you a space here to explain everything that you know about history of civil society or mass organization in our country. If you know, even though it's a little bit, it's okay. Even though you just know less of it, it's okay. Just share it to us.
It's a little bit complicated from history. Yeah,
Yep.
probably the oldest organizations that ever been established is like in the shape of kingdom. I mean, like I believe that is also been similar in several countries. From the kingdom, it can grow up to several corporation like VOC, how they finally can colonize other people, other countries to give to bring more dominations, to expand, and also to earn some revenues by monopolizing or by simply slaving other people. And there goes several communities that have been made by the creations of education in terms of colonization. And there goes a bunch of organizations of youngsters that would like to propagate the independence of Indonesia, and it's soon become right now. I think that's a brief explanations about history, about the history of mass organization. I'm not really sure. Probably someone can correct me or give us more information on that. I think that's
Ah,
from me. Thank
okay, thank you very much. That's quite general. I think that's is it that we can also think about when we talk about the history. It's quite same with the other country, right? Yep.
you.
Okay, the other please. Okay,
That
Mr.
is this is one.
Ridwan. Ridwan Ramadan, please, time is yours.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Um, I'll explain about the mass organization is in Indonesia. Well, there is an organization because Indonesia is a democracy country, right? Yes. Well, after Indonesia was born, there is a lot of organizations in Indonesia, including Permesta and many more. There's a lot of organizations in Indonesia because organization as a function to tell the aspirations to the government, how the people feel. Maybe sometimes every government has their own disadvantage. So the organization as to tell the government about their aspiration, about they need to increase the payday for teacher, for farmers, and many more. But now organization are spread too wide. There is a lot of organized organization like religious organization, religion, society, and many more. That's it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yep. Back on our history actually. I'd like to. Oh yeah, I will explain it later actually. I will give Mr. Linda one of chance here, please. Yours.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you. So actually, based on my assumptions, um, the mass organizations is created is because of the resistance. It's because of there is something on the notion from the government that make the several people disagree with that. So one of the way how to fight that notion is they have to collect the people, yeah, the people how to create something with with the number of people, because when you're trying to fight by yourself, I suppose that your notions or your ideas or your opinion will not be heard by the government. So this is the reasons with the number of people. Yeah, when you got the number of people, you're trying to make this organization. So this is the way how to fight the government. So based on the history, it started by when the first time uh, Netherlands came to Indonesia, when they're trying to introduce the capitalizations in Indonesia that make many people disagree with that, because yeah, because it's trying to make the rich become become richer and the poor become poorer in the situation. So this is the reason or the history how the mass organization is created, especially in Indonesia back then. This is my assumption. I'll give back to moderator.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Indawano. Okay, so it becomes so bigger back then when Netherlands came to our country and they bring a lot of idea and innovation toward modernization. And after that, a group of people created in order to what's that? In order to put their desire toward something. So yeah, that's a really good explanation. Thank you very much, Mr. Indawano. So here we are. I'd like to choose Chikoneng Hillier, and after that, Miss Nadia, and that will be the last session, and not the last session. You will be the last respondent for this session. Come on, Mr. Chikoneng Hillier, I'm yours.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Yeah. For my perspective, I would like to what's that tell about like the what's that sociological approach about a brief history of Ormas perhaps, and I would say that it's not only about a nation that we will create the Ormas, but also about the condition or catastrophic that we suffer about that. Especially, I would say, because when we talk about the history, so it should be come back to the colonization era. When we look at the sources of power, there is a six sources of power. The first is physical action. We can say that military and police approach. And the second is wealth, because in the colonization era, we find how VOC is a great wealth that will fulfill the entire of natural resources for Indonesia. And the third is yeah, state action. So it's the power that we frequently discuss it. And the fourth is the idea, and the fifth is numbers. So almost will come from the power that will the idea and the numbers, because the but the society thing isn't enough for that, because we should have the physical power, or we can say as police or military. So we create as name as the power organization, or we can call it as a nation, because by fulfilling that situation, we will vote who will be a leader, to who will be the leader from us as the wise people, and also can managing a system well that will fulfill our purposes and our needs or basic needs perhaps. And by doing that, the society's thing isn't enough for doing that, because our leader is human, not the angel, and who give a power that tends to corrupt, or we can say it as the dictator. So we will build like a constitution value, that like the written text that the leader should do based on the agreement among the societies as far from the Ormas perhaps. So when we say about the Ormas in Indonesia, because perhaps I will tell it about the Islamic Ormas because I don't know about the secular Ormas in Indonesia. Like when we look at the approach like Kiai Haji Ahmad Dahlan and also Kiai Haji Hashim Asyari as a founder from Muhammadiyah and NU, there's a different approach there. For example, like Kiai Haji, what is that? Hashim Asyari, they utilize the traditional approach, but because before we come to the colonization era, Nusantara called us the Islamic Empire. So Hashim Asyari, as from the traditional, or we can say it as East Java, they utilize a traditional approach, and it's different with Kiai Haji Ahmad Dahlan that utilize a city approach in Jogja, especially because we know Jogja as a kraton. So there is a different approach that the leader utilized to fulfill the society needs to free from slavery or decolonization. So after that, we create like a political approach like Syarikat Islam, and the other term, the entire thing that about organization in politics in Indonesia. And after that, we built a nation to fulfill what our needs. That is perhaps the brief history that I can tell based on my perspective.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chikonengilio. That's really great from your social approach perspective. Okay, so let's move on to the last. I'm sorry for the other. Let's move on for the last respondent here, Miss Nadia. Please, Miss Nadia, time is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Tama. So I would like to add, because they already talk a lot about Netherlands, colonization, psychological approach, and then culture. That's all true. And I would like to remind you all that as a human, we are social beings. So we need to be with someone who have same desires, same goals, and same purpose with us. And in Indonesia itself, we have proverb that say that bersatu kita runtuh, apa sih? Salah ya? Bersatu kita maju gimana ya? I mean,
Unity in diversity.
Satu kita,
Satu kita teguh.
so in Indonesia itself, we already know the value about having team building, collaborate with each other, and cooperate with each other, and that's the very basic why mass organization is very common in Indonesia. And then if we're talking about nowadays, and then Mr. Chikoneng Ile, right, talked about Islamic ormas and other kinds of ormas. That's also part of mass organization, and I think it is very general. So if you want to make it clear, let's talk more specific. Like because mass organizations, there are a lot of mass organizations, and people are still making a new one. That's from my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Nadia. Okay, I would like to share
And
a little things here. Okay, thank you very much, Miss Nadia. I would like to share little things here actually, and I also know something when it's come from Sukarno era. Actually, the power of mass organization or civil society is not it's not really considered because why? Because back then in Sukarno era they try to utilize the power of mass in one flat. So that's why they don't have really power to what is that to do something in our society because what is that general mobilization in this era. Okay, so I would like to move to our next session here. So well, when we are talking about mass organization, it reminds me of the statement that it's created by David Hazel. He said that any type of organization other than business or government, yeah, is mass organization actually, other than business or government. So that's general statement that is created by David Hazel in order to define mass organization and also the type of it. Yeah, and he also considered that LSM or NGO as a subset of mass organization. But in our country, we commonly tend to classify mass organization because of the quantity and the power that they have. So here we are. We have three type of mass organization. The first is ormas agama, or to translate it in English, actually, religion mass organization. Yeah, which is very famous in our country because majority of people in our country are religion, right? Based on religion point here, such as Nahdlatul Ulama or Muhammadiyah or what's that, and so on. And also Ormas Adat, yeah, which is there are some Ormas Adat that famous in my place also, such as what's that, Ikatan Pemuda Tari Sunda, Pasundan, and so on. And also the last is Ormas Nationality or Ormas Nasional, just what is that? We can say Pemuda Pancasila and so on. There's a lot actually. Okay, so that those are type of mass organization in our country that is being what is that, admitted, not officially. Okay, next, when we talk about mass organization, yeah, there's a general purpose of it. So before we talk about general purpose of mass organization, I want to know what is the purpose, what is the clear purpose of mass organization for our society here. So I would like to give someone here a chance to deliver your idea, please. Oh, Mr. Extremist. Okay, please, Ustad.
What the hell? Okay, I would like to start my story with telling a bit in the case of Babylonia, because I'm the economist who were following the path differently with the mainstream universities in everywhere. It's the Harvard, UE, and so forth is the shit. So the Ormat is started in the time when Hammurabi in Babylonian era, 2000 years before century, that has been written by Michael Hudson in his book Forgive the Dead, and also David Graeber on his book The Dead in 5,000 Years. So the purpose of the mass organization were doing protests, for example, for the Hammurabi, is for delivering to them. The first is justice, of course, about law enforcement, so on and so forth. The second is about prosperity. So when we look at the case, I would emphasize on the prosperity because I'm the economist. So in the case when the government, as a currency issuer, they are the one who can create the money unlimited, right? So they can issue it whatever they want because they are the issuer, and their money will be always demanded because the tax is driven them. So in that case, when they are not doing current account deficits, when they are not spending, I mean, when they are spending less, then it has been taxed on them. It means the majority, I mean the society, will have exponentially growing of the debt. Okay, in the one certain of time when we look at the case of the crisis, for example, 2008 crisis, 1998 crisis, 2012 crisis, we will see that the private debt is growing, surpassing the level of the real economy. In that specific time, when the government, for example, not doing the deficits on the spending, it means we are under, what is that, underwater of the debt as a private sector. It has become a problem, for example, because for the less privileged group class in our society, middle class and lower than that, will have problem with their prosperity. And mostly the 1% of population who has the private banks and so on and so forth, who has issued credit, for example, through their banks, they will have what is that opportunity in that case for increasing their wealth, doubling. So when we look, maybe I will tell it briefly. In that case,
the purpose of the Ormas and so on is no other than for what is that, representing the prosperity for all, not only for 1% of population. So actually, it's not only for protesting or collecting the power of the people, but how we can represent it through the our constituents. I mean, the uh, behind us, the power behind us will support us when there's a persecution coming to us by the elites, by the oligarchies who are driving the government. So it is the task of the Ormas. And after that, we should win through the de facto political power and then to the jure political power. I mean, in the legislative assembly, how to create the government as a vehicle for delivering the prosperity for all, not only for the 1% of population. I mean, I guess that is on the explanation from me, because yeah, government is vehicle, and who is the driver? When the driver is not us, I mean, only oligarchies with their own parties. So we will lose. We will lose because uh, this is a zero sum game. Majority and elites will always have different interests. That's my what is that? Yeah, that's my brief explanation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Aji, you're fucking knowledgeable, actually. Oh my god. Okay. Justice and prosperity. That is the thing that I can conclude from your what is that? From your explanation. That's okay. So let's move here to Ridwan or Mr. Indra here.
Can I offer that?
Oh, who's that?
Uh,
Who are you?
Rob- Robert, Robert.
Bird. Oh my god. Okay. So let's start from Indra one first. After that, we will move to I'm so sorry, Mr. Ridwan. In the in the one of Angga with
Uh,
one. Come on.
I
Robert.
suppose
Mr.
that
Robert.
yeah, Mr. Robert, because Mr.
Robert.
Robert
Angga.
hasn't given his voice anymore.
Angga. Robert. Come on. The one of. Oh, okay. Miss Robert. Angga. Come on, Angga.
Okay, sorry. I can't actually raise my hand because I am the host tonight. I'm sorry, guys, for this occasion, from this circumstance. Okay, I would like to talk about the purpose of mass organization historically in Indonesia, because actually I wanted to mention or comment the previous question as well, because I didn't have a chance to explain that before. Well, historically, as what has been mentioned by Kibo before, yes, mass organization in Indonesia mostly were built by the colonization era. They wanted to attack, or yeah, they wanted to attack the power of the colonization era back then. Therefore, the beginning of mass organization in Indonesia, especially in Sukarno's era, back then after the independence of Indonesia, they were so progressive, right? Most of the organizations like labor organization, peasants organization, and other organizations, they were very progressive. They would like to maintain the justice in Indonesia. For example, the peasants organization, they wanna build like agrarian reform. They were organizing in several places in Indonesia to maintain their purposes. That's, I think, a good thing of mass organization in the past, because they could actually raise their own voice. And even back then, as far as I'm concerned, they could actually um, encourage a rule about agrarian reform. That was because of their movement. So I think that was an achievement, such an achievement for mass organization in the past. However, there were several mass organizations which were not that progressive, because they were organized by several old orders, like landlords, for example, bourgeoisies, and other ruling classes. And unfortunately, after the catastrophe of 1965, right? I believe everyone knows about that catastrophe in Indonesia back then. After 1965, Indonesia was ruled by Suharto's era, which was New Order back then. And the order of the Suharto's era back then banned a lot of mass organizations which had existed in the previous presidency, which was in the Sukarno's era back then. And as a result, there were a lot of organizations which were forbidden or banned by Sukarno's era, and they become, the state in Sukarno's era became so oppressive towards the mass organization. Hence, there were only several organizations that could be allowed or permitted to exist back then, as long as they supported the programs of Suharto's era back then. That's why a Reformation era occurred in 1998, right? And after a Reformation's era right now, as far as we are concerned, the organizations are immense, right, in our country, due to the fact that right now we are more democratic, I think, than previously, because there was only several organizations back then, but right now we are more diverse and this thing, I think, as Thomas said before, there are several organizations which exist right now in Indonesia, which have several purposes, not only about religions and indigenous people issues, and even about labor, peasants, and so on and so forth. We are, as educated people, I think we need to organize with one of those organizations right now to utilize the freedom of democracy right now in Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay,
That's what I want
thank
to
you
say
very much.
about the nature.
Okay, thank you very much, Ranga. Actually, it will be so debatable for me to agree with your statement. Yeah, because based on my perspective, mass organization should be related to freedom here. But it will waste our time, so I will move to the other here. Mr. Ridwan, come on, your turn, please. Give your opinion.
Okay, okay then. Well, every mass organization has their own visions and missions. Example, the labor organization, they have a vision to give a prosperity for labor, and their mission was to, and there is their mission like increase the farm and many more, to make a farmer become prosper and many more. And mass organization for me is not just a group of people, but for me there's a function behind, there's a functions behind the mass organization. It's like to increase soft skill, hard skill, increase improving relations, and many more. Well, and especially in university, there's a lot of organizations like like HMI, PPI, and many more. Well, the point is, mass organization was created to build, to tell an aspirations from people to government. In fact, the government are just human beings. Sometimes they get a mistakes. So the purpose of the mass organization to correct the government, to criticize, to criticize about their mistakes. That's my opinion. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ridwan. I think specifically we can say that there are some organization or mass organization that specifically try to oppose government here. But if we try to what is that, define it more, it will be so, what is that, too wide. So that's why. But I still, that's acceptable. Thank you very much, Mr. Ridwan. So next, I think, oh yeah, Mr. Indra, do you want to say something?
Yeah, well, so I just want to make it simply that the function of the mass organization is how to strengthen the value of our democracy. As much as the mass organization in our country means that our democracy is healthy. By another hand, if there are mass organization has been banned when our government is like what happened nowadays, so it means there is something wrong with our democracy. So this is the reasons that the function of the mass organization is only how to strengthen the value of our democracy. Because Indonesia is created because of the togetherness. When we don't put this, the several years ago we didn't get that independence yet until today. And also one of the points also that's related with the function of the mass organization is they try to empower and help another. For example, there are many cases that related with disaster. It's not government at the first how to help the people there, but sometimes the mass organization as the first persons that come to that place, how to help them, especially to be free from that problem. And also it's related also with preferred human right. For example, there are many things that happened the several years ago. It's like Kancil in Malang. It's like maybe the several people in Kalimantan, yeah, because they are lost with the big companies, with the big oligarchies that they cannot voice their opinion in that time because the mass organization helped them, so they got the free from that situation. And also is the last point, sometimes the mass organization is one of the place how to connect you with the government. It's like what happened the several months ago with me when I joined with HIPMI, Himpunan Pengusaha Muda Indonesia in that time. So they extremely helped me how to make my program and others. If there is no HIPMI, I suppose that it's really difficult for me to reach my government in my cities. So this is the function of the mass organization based on my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, Aji's being Aji, Kibo is being Kibo. Aji tried to deliver it with his blog, and you also try to deliver it with your blog. Yeah, Aji tried to deliver it by economic perspective, and there are also some person who deliver it with what is that social approach. Yeah, and also you, as in Rona, with your blog and your desire here. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's move to what is that? Our next slide here. We have talked about the purpose of Ormas based on your opinion. Yeah. So here we are. We talk about the purpose of Ormas based on our constitution here. So basically, there are some points that I need to deliver to you. The first is increasing community participation and empowerment, and then provide service to community. Provide services to community. So basically, what is that? Nowadays, our government try to put their perspective that mass organization can also be a hand of our government, such as what Kibo mentioned before. And then we have maintaining religious value and belief in God Almighty, preserving, maintaining norm, value, moral, ethic, and culture that live in society, conserving natural resources and the environment, develop social solidarity, mutual cooperation, tolerance in social life, such as that the things that we do right now, perhaps maintaining and strengthen the unity and integrity of the nation. Yeah, that's your job, Skibo. And realizing the goal of the countries. Okay, so that's what's that general purposes of mass organization based on our constitution perspective. Okay, so let's move to the next slide here. So an organization can't can't work without money or without bucks there, right? So basically, here's what is that? Next short explanation about what is that? How do they earn money actually? There are some organizations that harness donation actually. Yeah, it can come from the member or perhaps the other people. Even though in our constitution they are what that government forbid some what's that donation from the members, but in effect it still work until now. And also company, yeah, we realize that some organizations also try to get money from companies such as GSR and so on, from government, yeah, which is put down by APBD or APBD, and business, yeah, business. There's a lot of business because like what Mr. Angga said before, the purpose of mass organization is not only for politics but also what is that, for something that they really like to do or something that they have been with, yeah, perhaps they are what's that, they are bound together because of business or so on. Yeah, even though when if we try to learn about mass organization, it's not related to business, but Yeah, this is the things that happen in our society right now. They get money from business. Okay, is there anyone here that want to give their perspective toward, because I give some space here, yeah, toward how do they earn money, especially when it comes for the organization. Unggul, ini Dewanov, siapa ini yang mau? Or misal Unggul?
I won.
Okay, come on. Yeah, Robert, come on.
But Aji first, maybe. Oh yeah, I
Uh,
wanna. I
You
just wanna
first. You
mention.
first.
I
You
just.
first.
you first, you
Yes.
first.
You first.
Yeah,
You
no,
first.
no, no. Robert first. After that,
Yeah,
Aji.
yeah,
Robert first.
I'm
I'm sick
first.
of Adi. I'm sick of Adi. I don't want to hear that. Come on, Robert first.
Okay, yeah. I'm very happy to see a lot of excitement here in our discussion. Okay, I wanna actually add um, something, Tama, about dues. Probably you forget mention here. I think dues also contributes to this question, to this problem, because as far as I'm concerned, there are several mass organizations which are even big right now that utilize the dues as their as the thing or as the way to earn their money. Um, it is most conducted by labor organizations and peasants organizations, as far as I know. As far as I know, because they have thousands of members, right? So they and each member should give at least a month, uh, probably 10,000 or even 100,000. It depends on their salary each month. So yeah, each month they should do some contributions or dues to their organization, and for a month they can actually produce even millions of money every month because they have big members. So yeah, I think dues is a very effective and important way to earn money for your organization because it'll uh, take a lot of participations, right, for a lot of people. It's different from like businesses or a person gives money or some person gives money to the organization. I think it could affect the independency of the organization. So the only way to tackle the issue about independency is earning money by the dues like this. Thank you.
Okay. The dues. Okay. Well, actually, when I read the constitution of Ormas itself, there are some rules that forbid the members to pay the dues actually, but it still happen actually. It still happen. I mean, some mass organization try to take the money from their member. Well, we can't say that they take the money, but yeah, it's a dues. As far as I know, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, our government forbid that. Yeah, but still, if you have what's that, another opinion, please. I
Me,
think.
me, me. Okay.
Uh, okay, come on.
So I would say the theory of Habermas first, 1999, if I'm not wrong. So when the elites of bureaucracy and the elites of economy and also the elites of the media gathering in one position, they will colonizing the life word. Life word is the myth, the belief, whatever the rule that we live in, and so forth will be controlled by them, right? So we should avoid that things. With what? When we look the concept of the republicanism, we should separate the oikos and polis. Of course, I certainly agree that everything we should, for example, when we want to create ormas or some organizations like that, we should stop the relation from our organization from the money that is coming from the hegemonic countries, the money that is coming from the sponsorship of the multinational companies, the money that has been given by the elites in politics or the rich people here to avoid the conflict of the interest. Of course, we should do that. So in that case, we should have a mass organization that is one person, one vote, and we should have those or voluntary money funding to make sure that our independence about our organization is still can be maintained. But The problem is when the people who have the poverty trap, I mean, they're unemployed, they have no money, they have no jobs, they have no good education. They're unable to do that, even though they have, for example, good interest. They have, for example, good capabilities. They have an energy, for example, to change the face of the Indonesia. So with what we can support them? Of course, for giving the fund from the state directly to the mass organization, it will have a tendency for increasing the corruption. The only thing that we can do that I've been writing it, I mean, for the proposal, but economic proposal first. We should have, I mean, the government should implement the job guarantee program that everyone, without having a limitation, for anyone who are willing and able to work, government should hire them. When all the people have sustainable income, for example, so we can build up the organization that based on their involuntary funding from the people, and it will be sustainable because no one have a problem to be unemployment, no one have problem with money, everyone has for example has capital for a minimum of income, so they can participate in that organization independently, and the organization will be healthy and will be inclusive. And after that thing, we can achieve it. For example, we can ensure that our ormas or the next level, for example, our party will be inclusive and representing the interests of the majority, not only for the elites. So this is the radical way how to change the face of Indonesia from the mainstream things that has been told in the shit universities, mainstream universities, that you should blah 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 without having the good economic proposal, without having good support, or having the inclusivity. So we should avoid them. We should think radically. For example, I would like to introduce you to, for example, my writing about Spanish shit, or the other MMCs, for example, like Randy Gray and so forth, to have the basic grounding theory, how to create the economy for the people. And after that, the next level, we can create the next movement. It means what has been told by all of our friends, for having the good ormas, and for example, having the good organization to have good institutional in the country, and then having the good policies, for example, to the people, back to the people, from the people. So that is uh, my opinion. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Raji. Yeah, that's really great. Yeah. Okay, so let's move to the other here. Ahmad, come on.
Yeah, yes, I'm not a master in mass organization, and he's concerned that in would rob the money from the other institution, maybe the or from for the
Hello. My God, Mr. Ahmad.
He's missing.
hi hi.
Hi. Have you
Yeah, hello
done?
hello. Can you
Your
hear
your
me?
your your connection is really
Yeah,
bad.
I've done.
Seriously, I didn't hear
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, perhaps
Oh
the other.
yeah, sorry.
Okay, sorry, sorry. Perhaps the other.
Yeah, probably organization. I'm not the master organization or about the discipline about the social sciences. I think be one of the sites for the above institutions, such like governments or others. Probably they could or rob the money from you.
Okay. 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 So I think that's enough for you. Because I'm so sorry because I didn't hear you clearly. Perhaps because of your connection. But I hope the other. Where's that? I hope the others are all ears with your explanation. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmad. So let's move here. Okay, so basically, I have provide three statement that is coming from some expert. Okay, there are three, but I want to reduce it, so it will just one actually. Okay, because the time that we have is limited. So there's a statement that said or must reduce the level of criminality in our country by hiring criminals and gangsters. Hence, there are some rules and limits that they have to realize. So it means like uh, Ormas itself, yeah, it's a statement that's being stated by an expert, but I don't want to say or who is that. Actually, he mentions like Ormas itself try to hire some what is that free men in order to limit their action, so they do not what is that do more criminal things. Yeah, even though the things the practice or the things that they do in order to get money for their organization is quite wrong by forcing seller or perhaps businessmen to pay for them, yeah, without with a threat and also violence. But they defend themselves by using this statement or must reduce the level of criminality. So they will not killing, they will not robbing or stealing. So do you agree or disagree with this statement? Come on, respond. Okay, the others. I will try to ask the other first. Miss Livia, how about you, Miss Livia? Do you have your opinion about it? If you what is that? If you do not get it, I will explain again. Hello, Miss Livia, or the others.
Yeah, Mr. Rama.
Okay,
Sorry about your last question. Can you repeat it?
okay, Miss Livia, their statement or must reduce the level of criminality in our country by hiring criminals and gangsters. Basically, it's like just pretend that you are Reman and
Mm.
I lead enormous and I try to hire you so you will not do more criminal things such as stealing or robbing. But when you are working in my place, yeah, you
Mm.
still become someone who forcefully take the other people money, such as seller or businessman. That's something that happened in our society. But they defend themselves. But by having them, they do not stealing, they do not killing, they do not robbing. So, do you agree with this statement or
Yeah,
disagree?
I agree for some level actually,
Okay,
because yeah, we know that when people like gangster or criminal, we give them a job, like we give them some rehabilitation and education, and we treat them as a human. Of course, they can be changed into a better person. Before, when we compare them as a jobless and they don't know what to do. So the problem is there any education that can change the criminal into a better one rather than just put them in the civil organization like Ormas? So we know, like,
okay,
when criminal just to get a position in Ormas without any education for their psychological side, they still do criminality, but in the name of the Ormas itself, and it gonna ruin and put more damage to the country because they have the power, not just being harsh or not just being a villain, but they have the power to do that in the name of the Ormas, because so many people will back up for the criminal just because they are being in the same organization. Because yeah, a lot of people like that, they don't know the problem, but they just let the people do what they want. So better not giving the like important position for the criminal. I disagree if they get a lot of power. They just can be a good power if we can manage them and uh, make them a better person. Thank you.
okay. Thank you very much, Miss Livia. Okay, I also basically, if I have to be frank here, I'm kind of disappointed with this kind of situation that's happened in our society. Yeah. So who can? I mean, we need to blame who right now. Okay. So the other, please. Is there anyone here who want to respond to this statement, or perhaps I can move to the other statement, or the other person here who hasn't give given their opinion? Miss Ria, perhaps, or Miss Masha? Miss Masha, come on. Okay. So, Miss Nadia, come on, your turn.
Thank you. I disagree with this. So the context first is about Ormas reduces the level of criminality. I don't think that it is giving a positive or negative impact because criminality is always there with Ormas or without Ormas. And then the second context is hiring the gangster. I also do not know how do you say that, what's the data and the evidence behind this. But I think that Ormas, sometimes they are the criminals and gangsters. That's why some of Ormas just banned by the government. So about rules and limitations, I refers to the previous arguments about the purpose of Ormas itself. It's to strengthen the country. So when it's not strengthening the country, it is have to be banned. So I disagree with this, and that's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Nadia. Well, it's something that's came because of what is that? Because of the searching that I got actually. Well, I will share it later. So let's move here. Mr. Indrawan, please, the turn.
Well, thank you. So I strongly agree with this statement because also I ever hear that coming from one of our vice president of Indonesia that become the godfather of HMI. Is there anyone here is coming from HMI? I ever read the news that is one of the ways how to succeed the several programs of the mass organizations in that time is how to hire their freemen. But on other hand, I would like to go with another perspective of that. It's not freemen that they hire in this situation, but who? That is government. Why that is the government? Because first of all, in the Ormas, there are the several oligarchies also that have much relation, that have much money in that case. So in these situations, they can hire and also they can pay with the relations and also with their money that the government or the part of the government, such as police, such as soldier, such as the policy makers of that place or that city, how to succeed the several program of the Ormas itself. One of them, for example, that happened right now in Jakarta. Yeah, the governor of Jakarta pay his dedications to Habib Rizik because Habib Rizik helped him to become the governor of Jakarta nowadays. If there is no Habib Rizik, if there is no I suppose that it will be difficult for this man to stand as the governor of Jakarta. This is the reasons that it's so easy, Habib Rizik and FPI, how to ask help from the governor of Jakarta back then, because there is like one of the friends work together. But on the other hand, because FPI still become the oppositions of the government, it will be difficult only backed up by the government only, because there are many ministers, including a president, they disagree with the movement of the Habib Rizik. So that is really difficult for Habib Rizik still stands as the mass organizations with his power, with the number of people. This is my statement.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Indrawano. I think you really know well about it, right? What is that? This kind of notion is something that I can't accept actually, but sadly, it's happening in our society, right? It's happening in our society, and I just need to remind you. I just need to remind you. I'm so sorry, but I need to remind you that, well, fortunately, FA is banned right now. But when you try to, what is that? When you try to notice the title of the Ormas, please just just avoid it. Don't say the name of the Ormas. Even though it's okay if you want to explain what is a good deed or bad deed that they have, but I prefer you to not mention the name, okay? Because there is a rule that I came across in what's that? No Ormas. So we need to be careful. Okay. Next, I'm so sorry. I need to directly move to the other slide because we have a limitation time here. Okay, so let's see here. We need to skip this because we don't have a time. Oh my god. Okay, so let's see here. I just want to know what are because we have talked about a lot of things here. I just want to know what are what is that? The benefit of Ormas existent for our society, but it should be specific. It could be politics, social, economy, nationality, or education. But at least if you want to give another option, it's okay. Yeah, but try to make it what is that? Try to make it specific, and it's a real contribution, something that you know or something that you have experienced. Thank you very much. Is there anyone here? What are the benefits? Chikoneng Ilir? Okay, come on.
Wait. Okay. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Yeah. Perhaps uh, I will fabricate two more specific than the fourth. Was that for the option that you deserve us? I think what is the benefits of Orma's existence for our society? Only there is two: become a friend or a rival from the government. Because yeah, because of politics, social economy, nationality, it will be general purpose, but the specific value become a friend or the rival from the government is the substantial issue that I will stipulate in this occasion. For example, like yeah, perhaps at the previous speaker had delivered about one day organization that was banned or eliminated. Not only that thing, but there is the another thing. Yeah, in the same value perhaps. And then there is the correlation with the criminal at the previous your question, and I would say that the criminalization is not only the right thing, how the Ormas will support the government to make infighting among the Ormas indeed. Yeah, but there is several Ormas that I really know, but I rather to avoid to mention the name in the national Ormas, in the national Ormas, because you know IT is the biggest problem I think for Indonesia. And then, but I would say not only criminal, but there is the surprise Ormas, or we can say it like ormas dadakan, like tahu bulat, that will or they will report you when you say something that you opposite or denounce the government. That is the surprise ormas, and they will make you in berita acara, what we call it, berita acara in Poli,
Okay.
that you will be BAP. And you will get a prison for that. And they almost always utilize the name of presidency. I couldn't say that what is the name of Ormas, but there is the correlation about the name of presidency and so on. Thank you for me. This is for me.
Okay, thank you very much. That's a wise sentence actually. Don't mention your name, right? Okay. I think we have the same opinion here. But I will move here. Okay, Mr. Unggul. Wait a second. Perhaps the other members here want to give their idea before Mr. Unggul for Nomo want to share their idea. Okay, so let's see. Okay, Robert, don't worry, Robert. I will choose. Uh, Masha. Oh, or Sony, Mr. Ria. Masha, how about you, Masha? What are the benefits of Ormas existent for our society? In your opinion, it can be from politics or social, economy or nationality. Please, Miss Masha.
There is Ria. Sama
Ria?
Ria, yeah.
Oh yeah, Ria. Where's Ria? Okay, Miss Ria, come on, time is yours. I'm a little bit sick of Aji. Come on, Ria.
Okay. Benefit ormas, right?
Okay.
I think ormas not only give some benefit for reduce criminal in Indonesia, but I think, at my perspective, when I was in university, I met some ormas. This is the special about the youngsters ormas in the rural area, and in there they uh, we collaboration to educate in some village, and we I mean we give some library. I mean, have a good education. I mean, have so many benefit and contribution that Ormas give not only about the how to reduce criminality, because have several benefit that we get from the Ormas, because that Ormas will have the purpose, one the purpose maybe about the education, social, economic, politics. So not only focus about the politics or something like that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Ria. Yeah, that's really great. Yeah, you have a courage. You encourage yourself to speak here. Yeah, that's the thing that you have to do actually from the beginning. Yeah, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So let's move here. Let's move, Mr. Ritwan. What do you want to say? Oh no 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 no. Wait a second, Mr. Ritwan. If there's let's see here. We have Mr. Sony. Mr. Sony, how are you today? Mr. Sony, have you eaten? Hello, Mr. Sony. Come on, give me your opinion, please. It's okay.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Have you eaten?
Come on, Mr. Sony.
I don't know. Yes.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I don't have more perspective with this topic, Ormas, right? As far I can see, Ormas to occupy our have some yes, this have our society have a perspective about maybe what the government do something for good future, something like buildings or good streets or yeah another good aspect the government for society. But if a society have some problems, maybe go to Ormas, I think like that. I don't know more specific about the the rules of Ormas. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. What a great statement. Okay. I mean, yeah, I really appreciate that you still want to say something.
Yeah, thank you.
Because as far as I know, the founder of OTA itself, yeah, the one who are in Australia right now, ever said that not the founder of OTA, the founder of previous OTA, before it's named OTA, yeah, before it's changed into OTA, he said that at least say something, yeah, something, and you say something, it's okay. Okay, I hope you can, yeah, what is that? You can blurt out more in the future. Thank you very much. So I think we need to move here, yeah, because the time. Let's see. So I believe you have your own opinion about what the benefit of Ormas, right? So let's move. Or perhaps the other want to give their opinion. Oh, Mr. Indre, do you want to say something?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it's giving much more beneficial. Yeah, if you want to relate to politics, it should be started by joining with the Ormas organizations. So I just want to tell you is only the simple ways of me how to stand to be a politician, especially in my village or in my small cities in Payakumbuh exactly. So I started with joining with HIPMI, Himpunan Pengusaha Muda Indonesia. Why I joined with them? Because one of the reasons I don't have much money. I don't have many relation because I'm still young. Because I'm still doesn't have the big saving how to pay the political parties. Yeah, with millions rupiah, with billions rupiah that I have not so much money. One of the way of me try to approach is one of the place where many oligarchies is in my cities sit down together. That is HIPMI, Himpunan Pengusaha Muda Indonesia. So in that place, yeah, many people want to become is like legislative to become executive that is started by many relations that finance them to stand, yeah.
But also sometimes it'll become the big problem of the Indonesian leader is because uh, they promise with the oligarchies, they make an agreement with the oligarchies, because he, as the person that doesn't have much money, that make oligarchies can be easier how to manage the place, how to manage the city, how to manage the countries. So this is the reasons that there is no leader in Indonesia. Yeah, there is no leader in Indonesia. They can stand by themselves. They can stand by the decisions because if they still using the oligarchs' money. So this is the reason that it'll be difficult for us as the youth to stand in the as the politician if we don't have much money. One of the way is we have to utilize the assistance of us in Ormas organizations. So yeah, this is my statement. Is a little bit offensive actually.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Indewano. Okay, so I think we need to move because our time is limited, right? Or perhaps you want to burn the midnight oil tonight. Who's know? Okay. Okay. So, oh my God. Perhaps I need to delete it. Ah, come on. The problem of Ormas in our country, right? Okay. So, I just want to know. I just don't. I just want to know to what extent you know the problem that happened in our mass organization actually. When we talk about Ormas, it can be so general because there's a lot of Ormas in the types. So I want to know what's that? What kind of information that regarding to the problem of Ormas in our society that you know? If you have an idea, please tell me or tell us here.
Hey, I've been raising my hand for a long time.
Okay, come on.
Okay, just 1 or 2 minutes. So
Okay.
previous your question, I will answer that. In the end of every dynamics that you explain, is coming to the political decision. Poverty is political decision, right? Unemployment is political decision, and so on. So in the end of it, the existence of the Ormas is impelling us, representing what is our interest on to our government and how to represent it. Just only that. In the end of it, it's only political decision. Now the problem of Ormas in Indonesia is inclusivity, because people, what I've been mentioning before, lack of power, I mean, of their capital, their income, their money, and also their understanding of the politics, and also a lot of disparities between the few people who has a double of the income. For example, one person have few trillions, while the other they have no income. To compete with them is impossible, except when you can gather in Ormas. But it should be have on building up the inclusivity through the good proposal of as a basic that you can contact with, for example, for having the sustainable job content and so forth, to make sure that your ormas will be inclusive without having the intervention from the what is that multinational companies, hegemonic countries, and also for the Politburo. Politburo is the new vocab in Russia, right? Maybe it will be the same like in Indonesia. So that is the problem, inclusivity. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Ajay. Well, I think it's quite it's inevitable for them to what's that to ignore that kind of law. I mean, they will get money, they will get everything that they want, especially when it comes for a multinational company. So it's quite inevitable. Perhaps I also will be tempted if I were in their position. Perhaps, who knows? Okay, I want to Chicken Ilir. Okay, but before you give your opinion, Chicken Ilir, I need to choose. I need to point someone here because he just what's that? He just keep quiet. So Mr. Sunshine, come on. I force you to speak.
Mr. Cool hasn't spoken up
Uh,
yet as well.
yeah. It's the problem of Ormas in our country. Basically, it's not the problem with our Ormas, but the problem is with our government because everything that that our government see as a hindrance or obstacles, they will see it as a problem, regardless the, how just every movement that have been established or being campaigned by any kinds of ormas or mass or societal organization. Because since been quite long, I've been like observing. So many people would like to highlight that these kinds of ormas always refers to religious part. In fact, ormas can also be named or can be addressed toward some kinds of or any kinds of societal organization, for example, like feminism, LGBT, environmentalists, labor union, and many more. So I believe that as long as it's actually in line with what has been said by Mr. Aji before, the oligarchies and the elites want everything that will be done by societal organization can be finally justified or will be allowed by the government because we've been living in oligarchies era and how to tackle the problems is going to be really radical. Probably we need to change. We need to change all components, all elements, all people that currently representing our nation. But to do that, we need to do some co-create, and there will be civil war. It will be the end of the nation. So, so I do not have any, I do not have any efficacy, effective solution for that. So yeah, um, temporarily ormas or societal organizations need to act as if they are complying with every single decisions or verdicts of the government, but behind the shadow they still campaign the true visions that they want to accomplish. I think that's the safest point that they can do at the very least. I think that's what we thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The things that you mentioned take after the statement that I got from an expert in TV1 before UITE appears, before UITE appears. And you mentioned,
Oh my
uh,
goodness.
mentioned that government are afraid with Ormas. Like what you said before, it's hindrance. They are become hindrance, right? Hindrance government. Government are afraid because in Bambang Yudhoyono era, they do not touch Perpu Ormas before they change that into undang-undang. So what happened with
Yeah,
different?
yeah.
Oh my God, forget it. Come on, next, the other
Okay.
is Ilir.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Regarding to my point of view, as far as I concern, I think the problem of ormas is the interpreting the meaning of Pancasila itself. Because I will say we have decided Pancasila as our ideology, but Anhar Sinagong, as the expert from the Indonesia history said, we has yet to decide what the meaning is because there is the difference of the meaning of Pancasila itself. We still find how societies that will be arguable, like they find the people or the women in the school utilize chadar, who we say chadar, and they conduct a ceremony in the field, and we say you want and the society will say you won't be a hilapa but your flag is Indonesia. Oh, how could be? So it's the common thing that we cannot accept because perhaps in their point of view China is not an Indonesia, but China is the one the first that consists of Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. So we should embrace the other to get their perspective, because the easily way to eliminate the ormas, like taking a bills, purple or whatever is that, and it will be eliminated. But we forget what is the issue that we cannot tackle. And this issue is their idea, what their purpose, and also what they gonna be. So that is the problem of the interpreting Pancasila itself. I will give the example in Orba. we have the interpreting based on the government like Nasacom, nationalism, religion, and extremism, not communism. And in the Orde Baru, we find asas tunggal, and nowadays we find the institution that will give the meaning of the Pancasila itself. Because the among our society, they will interpret the another thing. So the way that we accept the other, that is the value, because the differs make unity, but we cannot force to be united. Thank you. This for me. Mr. Tama, you still unmute.
Oh shit. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, because of the time that we have, right? Yeah, I think it's really great discussion with all of you, especially. I think, seriously, I really have a lot of things that I want to discuss, and we still have a lot of motion here. We still have a lot of statement that we need to, what is that? We need to break down. Somehow, the time hinder us, the time hinder our meeting. Yeah, it's really break our, what is that? Romance moment here, right? So, for the last year, I think all of us know there are some problem in our Ormas or in our government itself. Yeah, all of us know what are those problems. So right now, I think I need to give the conclusion, but actually I don't want to give the conclusion, but I will give Angga chance because I believe Angga can summarize everything here, yeah, with all of the problem that we have. So I will give the last was that from this question, and also Mr. Robert, please I'll give you a chance to give the conclusion of our discussion, and also please try to relate it with this question: what will happen if government forbid the existence of Ormas in our country? And please give your what is that? Please give your conclusion about our discussion.
No, no, I don't have a right to give the conclusion. Probably you,
Yeah, I give
as
you
the
the right. I
moderator.
force you. I give you the right. I force you. Come on.
Come on. Just conclude, Tama, as the moderator, because I want to give several vocabularies.
Okay. Still, we came across that our civil society, our mass organization, what's that? Has a lot of problem in our country, right? Yeah. It can be from the constitution or also the activity that Ormas do itself, but we need Ormas. So if we try to fix our condition or the condition of mass organization in our country, we need to fix the law and also the government. But it will be so complicated and naughty things like what Mr. Sunshine mentioned before. There will be a civil war perhaps because we need to alter all the component here. But as long as we have a hope, like what Aji said before, what was that, Aji? As long as you are hope, Aji. Oh, okay, just forget it. As long as we have a hope here for the brighter future, for the things that perhaps become something that we can enjoy in the future, it will be so good. Yeah. Just let's what's that? Just hope for that. Okay. So that's all for me. Sorry, I can't. What's that? I can't give you a really good discussion. I'm really sorry if I made several mistakes in our discussion, but I really appreciated that you are able to accept everything that we have here. So I will give it back to Angga. Come on, Angga.
Well, thank you, Mr. Tama. Come on, guys, give him applause for moderating us today. Thank you so much. Well, before ending our discussion, I would like to um, summarize several new vocabularies for us that have been mentioned by everyone before. Okay, let me share my screen, okay? Because it is actually like our tradition. So every ending of our discussion, we always give several vocabularies. Okay, as you can see here, I believe some of us might know these vocabularies, but still I need to convey this for all of us. I'll say this with bahasa Indonesia. First, we have pertama kita mempunyai comply, ya, atau obey yang artinya mematuhi. Then we have dan selanjutnya kita punya entity atau unity artinya kesatuan, coalition yang artinya koalisi, mobilize atau memobilisasi. Kalau dimobilisasi berarti mobilized pakai D ya. Constitution, which means yang artinya undang-undang. Catastrophe, malapetaka. Dus, iuran, atau bisa juga dibilang contribution ya. Kemudian collaborate, I think everyone knows, berkolaborasi atau bekerja sama. Collaboration, kolaborasi. Jadi I wanna collaboration, it's wrong. It should be I wanna collaborate ya. Harusnya pakai verb kata kerja. Kemudian veil atau purdah ya, yang maknanya cadar. Okay, I'm sorry I didn't write a lot of vocabularies beforehand since I did enjoy our discussion. I hope that we can study more later after this discussion. Okay, let me stop sharing. Okay, before we end, as usual, let's take a picture together. So guys, please show your most beautiful and handsome faces. Mr. Ridwan, Mr. Ahmad, Mr. Ku, Miss Livia, and Miss Ria, please show us your handsome and beautiful faces.
Hey, Sony, open your masker.
Kibo, can you take a picture, take some pictures? Yeah, because I can't. Sorry.
Ya, Nora, Robert, Nora.
Nama Robert ya.
Okay, please count down.
Okay, wait. Okay.
Ria, where's Ria? Ria, hi Ria.
Ria is like my ex-girlfriend.
Okay, just do it. Probably
Mati lampu, Kak.
Okay. It's okay.
Kelihatan juga.
Come on,
Ntar dulu, gue juga lupa nih caranya.
How to say Nora ya. Soalnya pakai laptop jadi agak susah saya.
Udah, bisa.
Mati lampu, Kak. Lagi mati lampu. Percuma.
Mati lampu. Yuk, 3, 2, 1. Slide 1. Lagi. Slide 2. Slide 3. Kan 3 ya dong, Slide 3. 4. Lagi ya. 5.
Enough.
6 sampai 10.
Udah.
Udah.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kibo, for taking us a lot of pictures right now. So the last I say, Hail Ota.
Hello, Ta.
Yesterday is day tomorrow.
Bye everyone. Wassalamualaikum.
Thank you for.
You guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon.
See you.